Hello and welcome to the kitchen table. It's Tuesday and it's good to meet again across the airways. It's Alison Southern here, Melksham Teen Ministry. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a good day and that things are beginning to feel maybe a little more doable than they were this time, maybe 100 days ago. We have been through such a strange time, and it is still a strange time as we come out of lockdown and into a new form of living. I was thinking about that and the differences that we have all experienced over that period of time. For some of us, that lockdown experience has been really tight, not just in the initial part, but still now, if we're shielding or if we are taking care because we are just that bit more vulnerable. For others, there must be a sense of maybe relief, maybe elation, that pubs are open and things are getting to look more like the old normal. But during that time, how have we changed? How have we grown? And I don't just mean how much have we eaten and how much have we grown, but I mean, have we been able to really stop and look and think? And how have we done things differently? For many people, a daily routine is about getting up, going out to work, maybe in something smart to wear or in a uniform or in a particular way of dressing that identifies you as who you are. Maybe you stick on some high heels and a smile as you go out the door. And maybe that's your mask, the sense of you in your role that you present to the world. While you've been living at home, has that changed? I was talking to some friends the other day and we were talking about the fact that some had stopped wearing makeup. I have to say, for me to change, I would have had to have started wearing makeup. It's not something I've ever done, but for some people it's part of a daily routine. What you do with your hair in lockdown. How do you present yourself to the world? And where do you present yourself? We chatted the other day with our grandchildren on Zoom, and it has just become the norm to see each other through this little box. And yet we know we're not that little box. We know we are so much more than that. I had a phone call yesterday from a doctor who's just phoned me up to sort of say they want to do some checking up. I ended up in hospital a few weeks ago. Everything was fine, but they just want to make sure that everything will continue to be fine. So they want to do some tests and some scans. And I thought about that as I was lying in bed in the middle of the night, as you do, pondering. I was thinking about how we see ourselves, and we see ourselves either mirrored or on a screen in Zoom if you've got both visions towards you, or maybe chatting on WhatsApp and you see yourself in a tiny box in the top corner. How we see ourselves and how others see us may have been changing over these past few weeks and months. But when I go and I have an X-ray or a scan, like everyone else, the pictures that takes are of the inside of me. The light and the shade and the contrast will be about everything that I am and how my body works. And I was thinking about that in terms of that is just how God sees me. God sees me all the way through. He doesn't need to see just a mask. Everything's fine, on we go. He sees the real me. He sees the real you. He sees some of the pain that you may have been suffering over these past few weeks and months. Maybe about loss, maybe about uncertainty. And that might be continuing. What are our jobs? Are they secure? Have we loved ones we lost? It's been really tough. But God knows every single one of those moments. And as I will rely on somebody who has wisdom and knowledge to look at pictures of me, to be able to say, yeah, she's fine, off you go. Or, whoops, no, that's not quite right, let's do something there. Whatever they find because they have looked in the depths of me, into the very being of me. And that's just what God does. He doesn't look at our masks. He doesn't look at how we want to present ourselves to the world. He looks at the very inner part of our lives, of our loves, of our fears and our joys. In the Old Testament, in the book of Samuel, a prophet is sent to find a king, and God tells him, don't look for heights and strength. Look at the inside, because that's what matters. And David, the youngest son of Jesse, the weakest of the pack, if you like, is chosen for his potential, for his courage, for his care, and for his love. All of those things hidden inside of who he was. That's just what it's like for you and for me. And I think as we come through lockdown and into this new world that we are stepping into, I think for me that's a real hope and prayer that we learn how to look at each other and how to look at ourselves more deeply, more fully. To not just look at the razzmatazz, but maybe to look into the face of someone you know really well, who's saying, I'm fine, and to recognise they're not fine. And to say, how can I help? What do you need from me? Life is full of all sorts of twists and turns and difficult parts. Each one of them leaves us with something of a little scar, I think. They say lines on your face tell the history of your life and the story that you've lived. I have to say I've been living a lot of chapters lately. But the real you is the bit that God knows best. And as we come out and we start to understand that and understand the real us, the real me, who are you? What really matters in your life? What are the things that, when everything else made no sense, what are the things that mattered to you? I pray that we can hold on to those new insights, if you like, those X-ray specks that help us to see beyond a mask and into the heart of those we meet. Not just those we know, not just those we love, but others too. And the courage and the wisdom to be able to say, how are you? And really want to know the answer. It can be very tough, this life. God walks with us through the tough days as well as the joyous ones. Whatever place you find yourself in today, whether you are growing more comfortable in your skin with who you are and understanding more about who you are in God or who you are in your own life and to you, I pray that each time we connect with somebody else, we connect in a true and caring way. When we listen to one another, It's amazing the stories you hear. And behind each one of those masks is a true book with page after page after page of story that will touch your heart as you begin to listen to them. Do take care. I'll meet you back here again tomorrow evening. Don't forget to call if you should want to chat. And don't forget to read the things after the service. Take care. Bye for now.